The Spanish Announce Table.
It is episode 385 of the Spanish Announce Table. You may notice that Tom is not with me here as I'm speaking to you now, and he's not going to be with you. We have let Tom go. No, I'm just kidding. Tom is out doing grown man things, handling his grown man business, much like I was for several weeks over the last couple months. And sometimes we got to do it solo so that you guys don't miss out. We're here for you. We love you, which is why we want you to follow everything we do, right? All the social medias, Table Show on Twitter, Spanish Announce Table Podcast on the Facebook, the TikToks at Spanish Announce Table. Please like, share, follow, all of those things. Please go to SpanishAnnounceTable.net. There's a donate link. I think merch is coming along the way somewhere, somehow. You can check out the episodes. You can subscribe to the audio podcast or subscribe to YouTube right here. Please do all the things to join us here on Pro Wrestling's Best Podcast. Chat with us live during the YouTube stream, right? The live stream. I don't know if Tom's watching. I don't know. Not doing grown man stuff. I don't know. But hey, listen. Oh, heard any good promos lately? Jeez. We're going to get into all that. We're going to get to the MJF pipe bomb, we're calling it. I don't even know if I want to call it that. I want to just call it the MJF promo. I don't even want to give CM Punk any credit. Not a pipe bomb. I never really liked that term anyway. His promo was exquisite. We're going to cover that as we get into it. But it's the Spanish Announce Table, episode 385. We are creeping ever closer to 400. Getting excited for that. Man, I'm not going to lie. And then Double or Nothing happened this weekend. Double or Nothing and Dynamite this week. And might have been some of the funnest pro wrestling I've seen. The anticipation up to it was huge. The pay-per-view might not have delivered as huge, but Dynamite made up for anything the pay-per-view lacked. And I can't tell you how excited I am here to talk about it. So I'm just going to go into it. I'm going to kind of go through Double or Nothing and then the fallout to each of these things. Just to kind of cover it and not have to go like, and then this happened, and this happened, and this happened. I'm going to go through Double or Nothing and follow up with the things that kind of came out of it. The move on storylines and whatnot through Dynamite. We'll cover that as we go along. And at the end, did you know Hell in a Cell is this weekend? There's a WWE pay-per-view. I'm going to make some picks. I may or may not know what's on the card. I've got it pulled up. We'll see what happens. Not the biggest fan of the WWE product right now. I think anybody who's a long-term viewer / listener knows that, but it's going to be fun anyway. Going to make some Hell in a Cell picks. How excited? Is everybody excited? Everybody excited to join this train with me here? Hop on and let's do this, right? I'm excited. I'm very excited. So, all right, let's go through it. Double or Nothing, the buy-in, right? We had Hookhausen defeating Tony Nese and Smart Mark Sterling, right? Look, the buy-in is there to do exactly what this did. It's to get you hyped up. It's to get you kind of like, all right, I'm excited for the night, for the several hours that we're going to go into. And this accomplished that, right? This Hookhausen thing, we talked about it like, yeah, sure. I don't think any of us would have maybe wrote it out on paper. We like what's come out of it. Both these characters we love, at least Tom and I here do at the Spanish Announce Table. The marrying of this, it kind of feels like a Booker T Goldust, excuse me, Booker T Goldust feel to it from back in the day. And so, as long as either guy doesn't come out looking terrible on either end, I think we'll be fine here. And, Tony Nese and Smart Mark Sterling aren't doing anything. So, they take the L here and we move on, and the buy-in gets everybody hyped, gets everybody happy. And let me tell you, the buy-in makes you happy. I know how you can buy in right here to the Spanish Announce Table, right? You do that by going to SpanishAnnounceTable.net and donating via the PayPal. And also, as a shout out, since we're talking about buy-in, let's give a shout out to the sponsor, right? We like to do a beer sponsor of the week, or you can sponsor in other ways. And today's sponsor is Nobody. Thank you, Nobody, for giving us money to help keep the lights on and keep the tech rolling here and, pay the producers and the distribution networks and all that. Thank you, Nobody, for helping us out. Nobody. Love you. It's a great beer from Nobody. Really appreciate it. So if you want to be like Nobody, donate and be the beer sponsor of the week, or if you just want to be a regular advertising sponsor, hit us up, tableshow@gmail.com. We'll be happy to discuss further with you. But we'll get back into Double or Nothing. Now the buy-in is over. Once again, thanks, nobody, for helping us out. Swig of beer for nobody there. All right, Double or Nothing kicked off with MJF versus Wardlow. Now, all right, anybody understood the question mark hovering over AEW Double or Nothing. Was MJF going to show? Is he going to do the job? Is he going to be there? Is he even in the city? Did he hop on a plane? Is he back in New Jersey? Did he quit? Did he get fired? All this news breaking over the weekend, right? Like he's disgruntled. Nobody's talked to him. He's no-showing a meet and greet. I don't know. There's been a whole lot of this MJF is unhappy in AEW discussion online. And I feel like we've all assumed it was worked, that it was a bit of a work just because he's the one leaning into it the most, right? But man, things really exploded here. And he does show up, right? I think if you watch the show, I hope I'm not spoiling it. You would be dumb to listen to this show if you hadn't watched it first, because that's what the show is about. But he shows up. He does the job. Does a great job, right? Wardlow gets his 10 pounds of flesh. He destroys him. Just brutally murders the guy, gets all that off his chest, and Wardlow looks like $1 million damn dollars. Thanks, in large part, to MJF. I think it's key to remember. So, over the weekend, things get a little more tense, and we're like, ooh, I think everybody, with some sense, I think, of the wrestling industry, assumed he was going to be there. But what were we going to get? And he did the job well there. And Wardlow does great. And Wardlow looks like $1 million. He even takes on Johnny Elite. Is that what we're calling him now? Johnny Drip. And, good luck, Johnny. And that goes over. Wardlow just, sitting there snorting, looking like a New Day Goldberg, but built better, right? I mean, Goldberg was built bigger, but I mean, it was easier, right? It was just he's winning and he's tough and nobody can beat him. This had more nuance and storyline. Thanks again. And I'm going to say the most part to MJF. So now we get to Dynamite. Oh man. I mean, watching it a little bit behind. I get the text from Tom saying like, God damn, did you see the promo? And so I got to watch it. I pull it up, and you and I listening, watching, you know what it was. You've seen it by now. You can't have not seen it. If you haven't seen it, need to pause this podcast first and go find it on YouTube or wherever, or watch it on TV. You have to see it. If you haven't, if you're listening to me now, watching me now, you haven't seen it, please stop and then come back. All right. Now that you're back, and once again, thanks to nobody for sponsoring the show. Now that you're back, holy hell. Whoo, man. MJF is a masterclass in blurring the lines, apparently, because now I don't know where the work and the shoot blends here, right? Nobody knows where this gray area starts and ends, and man, I hope on everything it's a work, because I like being worked. It's so fun. It's so fun if this is all a work. If it's a shoot, I think nobody wins here. I mean, MJF might win financially with WWE, and that, don't get me wrong, that's important. That's very important. To most people, I think it might be the most important thing, whether they want it to be or not. And I just think MJF, if he's gone and he goes to WWE, isn't the same MJF that we've fallen in love with, or he's not going to be allowed to be. And so I'm worried about that. And that's one of the main reasons I hope it's a work, is because I don't want to see and witness the fallout if it isn't to work. But I mean, I can't tell you how amazing it was. And we've got some folks who want to talk about it here on Twitter. Tom does the live tweeting, and he says, so, has there been any good promos lately? Hashtag AEW Dynamite. I even said that this morning. And at Anthony BC says, only the best promo since the Attitude Era. Is this the best promo since the Attitude Era? I mean, hell, a lot of promos. This is one I think that's going down in history. We're going to talk about this forever because he meant everything he said here, even if it's a work. This guy meant everything he said, from breaking down to the whole, like, not getting paid because he's paying all these ex-WWE guys to come over. Been a complaint I think we've voiced here. We're worried about getting away from your homegrown stars that really kicked you off, like an MJF. And I think he's right. He's the best in the business. MJF is the best heel in the business. If you're adding up, if we had a Madden ratings, man, I'm giving him a 99 all day. He's so good. So good. So good. Every great storyline that I can think of outside of the Hangman Adam Page storyline was thanks to MJF. In AEW, I mean, jeez. He's so good. So good. And I hope this is a work. I really want this to be a work, but where do we go? Where do we go if it is a work? Where do you think? Hashtag tweet the table. Send that on Twitter. We're going to read some of those here on the show as we go through some of these tweets as we talk about AEW Double or Nothing and Dynamite. But where do you think we go? I don't want Tony Khan on screen as a authority figure. And then is he a face authority figure? Is he a heel authority? Who's in the right here? Ooh, this could get messy. This could get weird. If it's all a work, it's going to get really cool. And I'm excited because, wow, if it's all a work, they let him go. Also, if it's not a work, why do you let him go? He's going to say some stuff that's not going to make you look so good. And again, if you're Tony Khan and you're not prepared to go out there and rebut, you're going to look a little bit like a shithead, because MJF's going to get the last word that a lot of us hear. Interesting to see where this goes. I am super excited about it. But Wardlow stands tall, Double or Nothing. He beats up Johnny Elite. Wardlow, I'm a little worried. Again, I think MJF built Wardlow. And it's because of the despicable nature of how MJF treated Wardlow for years that we wanted Wardlow to kick his ass so badly. And we've wanted Wardlow to shine on his own. Well, I'm a meathead who can powerbomb somebody 10 times is only going to last a couple opponents, guys. So that's my worry. What do we do? I'm not saying Wardlow can't handle that. Doesn't have a bag of tricks. Don't know that. That's my worry. Will we see something? This chance to show us. And here we go, right? All right. Young Bucks defeated the Hardys in a match that, I don't know, did Jeff Hardy get hurt? This felt similar to when Jeff Hardy left WWE. Like, it was like something happened to Jeff Hardy mid-match, and he didn't leave this time, but he was just kind of like, all right, I'm kind of here, but I'm not. But then sometimes he showed up and did some moves, so I think he powered through it. But something happened to him there, right? I think they acknowledged that on Dynamite because he wasn't wrestling in that weird multi-man tag they had on Dynamite. But the Young Bucks book strong here, get the victory, and the Young Bucks even on Dynamite in that weird mixed tag that I'm referencing. I don't even know who all was in that again. A whole bunch of people. Do I have it here? Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, they super kicking everybody and getting an easy pinfall, looking like they're not breaking a sweat, just laughing at the lack of competition. Is this where we're going? Are the Young Bucks the new hot contenders? Are they going after the titles? Or are we putting them in a big spotlight here? Or is this just the EVPs going like, hey, we want to win today? Remind everybody who we are, right? Is that pulling back the curtain too much? I don't know. Let me mull that over as I take a beer provided by our great sponsors. Nobody. Thanks. Remember, if you want to be like nobody, donate or sponsor the show, or, hit us up, tableshow@gmail.com. We'll discuss options. All right. Jade Cargill defended the TBS title over Anna Jay, and this was good, but I also have some complaints. I know. Shocker. So, Jade Cargill gets the victory, which of course, right? And look, Jade Cargill is on a different level than a lot of these contenders. She just is. Even with her youth and inexperience, is just a different breed, if you will, just a different level of competitor or performer. And so she gets this, but so we make some moves here with the character and her accoutrement, if you will. And I like this. This is good, right? We swap out Sterling for Stokely Hathaway. And that's great. I think that fits well. And that's fine. Except, like, it all just happened in a weird way. Like, John Silver just kind of like, swirlies Mark Sterling, gives him a wedgie or two, and kind of boots him out of the arena, right? Or something, beats him up a little bit. Which is fine, right? Everybody loves that. But, and then just Stokely Hathaway kind of just like, he's now, as the melee ensues, like, he's just now the guy, and they're like, oh yeah, it's your publicist or whatever, right? It's just like, okay, but now just Sterling's just gone? Like, I felt like that could have been a story told over a week or two, right? We didn't need to, like, just swoop, swap. Hey, look at that. Easy enough, right? It just didn't make sense. Like, Stokely didn't, contractually, weasel Mark Sterling out or anything like that. And then we get, Statlander trying to help the faces against the baddies, and then the debut of Athena, which is, Ember Moon, formerly in WWE. And so now we've got this face off of all these faces in the baddies going up against Anna Jay, Statlander, and Ember Moon, and they're all in a triple face off. And that's where my complaint is. This was just so much for this, right? All this could have been played out over time or worked in different ways. Like, this just felt like this was like 4 things that happened right here at once. You know what I mean? Like, just all at once. Just, and this happened. Oh, and this. Oh, and did you know in this? And it was a little too much, if you will. It was like, wait, okay, like, we moved a lot of chess pieces at once, right? Like, traveling, the violation, right? Double dribble, right? All right. Sports guy reference. But Jade Cargill. And Athena got her little, time with Tony, and we got to hear cut the shit, Tony, which I love. Jade Cargill is just great. And this Stokely Hathaway character was a way better fit, and a publicist instead of a lawyer, better fit. Hell, even, let's let Mark Sterling be around when she needs a lawyer versus a publicist. Yeah, he can still be on the team, right? I like it. And Athena, sure. I don't know. I was never wowed a whole lot in WWE as Ember Moon. I mean, I'm not saying she's bad, but I don't know. I haven't seen anything to make me care yet, so we'll see if that happens here. But I'm a little worried we're going to get the Ruby Soho redo here. All right, House of Black defeated Death Triangle, and Julia Hart finally turned and did the Tajiri to Pac, right, with the mist. And couldn't have seen that coming, huh? Couldn't have seen that one coming. Man, it took them like a month and a half to make that happen. Yeah, I think we touched on this on the last episode. Both of these groups are like, yeah, okay, presented well. You get it. Playing the parts fine. But there's no story here. I know they tried with this Julia Hart thing, but again, I think it took a month and a half. We kind of forgot. It's like, oh yeah, Julia Hart. Julia the Blackheart now, right? I don't know. Maybe Murphy's going to try to date her. What's his name now? I don't know. Is it Murphy? I don't. Whatever, right? Whatever his name is. All right. Adam Cole and Britt Baker defeated Samoa Joe and Ruby Soho, respectively, in the Owen Hart Foundation Memorial Remembrance in Honor tournament. A long name for that thing. And I think we saw this one coming too, right? The couple's there because it's a nice feel while Martha Hart goes out there and does a way too long of a speech. Not to disrespect. I mean, having the Owen Hart situation and the memorial and a remembrance and some kind of honor is something I think the wrestling fans have wanted for a long time, and they acted as such. The crowd was great. And Adam Cole and Britt Baker are great representatives to stand up there with her. It's family feel. I get all that. It was great. I just kind of, in the end, with the whole tournament, just kind of felt kind of like, great. I don't know. I don't want to, again, I'm not trying to shit talk too much here. Right? Not too much. I mean, we're known to do that a little bit once in a while. But the tournaments felt like they pulled up lame a little bit to me because of this kind of, I don't know, not just the ending it was just, yay, it was the couple. We're going to trot out a belt for a little while and then we're going to forget about it. And, hey, if it's an annual thing, maybe it'll get bumped up a little more. But I don't know. I just felt, felt like I was like, all right, cool. And that happened. And it's fine. It happened. All right, then we got Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page, along with Paige Van Zant, taking on Sammy Guevara, Ty Conti, Frankie Kazarian. Really blurring the lines on this one too, right? Like, who's the faces, who's the heels here? And I think they're kind of doing that. They're really trying to turn Sammy Guevara and Ty Conti into just this despicable couple that everybody loves to hate, and they're doing a great job. Even Frankie was like, nah, you guys can get your ass kicked. You guys are annoying. This is dumb. And, just let him get beat up for a little bit. Hey, Anthony Carrillo is in the chat, and he says, tournament was meh. And you know what? Not wrong. Oh, yeah, actually, even at the Rebel Trucker chimed in with hashtag Tweet the Table and said that had to be one of the worst sharpshooters I've ever seen. Hashtag AEW Double or Nothing. Yeah, I think Ruby Soho put on like a bad sharpshooter, if I remember correctly. Yeah, tournament was meh. And thanks for joining the chat, Anthony. Tell your friend, parentheses S, right? If you got more than one, tell your friends, join us out. Join us. Come hang out with us. Tom is gone. I don't know if you caught the earlier part of the show. It's just me today because Tom had grown man stuff to do. Can't be here talking to the fans. Hey, I'll let you determine who loves you more. That's up to, eye of the beholder. But we're here. We're talking about it. Yeah, Scorpio Sky, Ethan Page, Paige Van Zant, Sammy Guevara, Ty Conti, Frankie Kazarian. Really leaning in on that Sammy Guevara, Ty Conti thing. And, he accidentally kicks her. You think that comes up? You think there's trouble in those waters? Or are they just going to lean into it worse? Be like, oh, it's okay, I understand, and make out on TV. Where do we go with them? Who now? It's great. It's easy heat, right? Not to say that like they're working hard to pull it off, but it's easy heat to hate that. But how do we turn that into compelling storylines that make me care, right? Like, so yes, we're going to get somebody to beat them up, but like, I want to see some kind of, maybe a third party comes in and now we've got, is this a love triangle somewhere, right? Like, let's start kind of digging a little more rough around the edges with this, right? Now that we've established it, nobody likes it. Not even the bad guys like it. Not even the people we don't like it, right? Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky and Dan Lambert, like, we don't like them, but they don't like it, then they're right there. Like, you know what I mean? This is where nobody likes it. Yeah. No. Yeah. Let's see what else happened on AEW Double or Nothing. Kyle O'Reilly defeated Darby Allin. I don't know what this was. Tom had mentioned, he said, Darby Allin's not even on this show. And that was, he was upset about that. And well, here's Darby Allin, but I don't think like this isn't what we wanted. I don't know what happened here. Yeah, Kyle O'Reilly just beats him clean, looking like a polka dotted, like a leopard. Look, I know he's cupping, right? Whatever that is. I don't want to sound too ignorant, but like, I think if I was a performer going out, I wouldn't do that. But hey, Kyle O'Reilly is not me, right? I am not Kyle O'Reilly. We have established that for the show, Kyle O'Reilly. So yeah, Kyle O'Reilly beat Darby Allin. I don't know if we're going to get a Kyle O'Reilly something out of this. Anybody care? If we do, yeah. Thunder Rosa defeated Serena Deeb to retain the AEW Women's World Title. And I think this is where things really got like good. This is one of the good things that we really liked. I mean, I think we liked Wardlow and MJF, but this match, I think, delivered what we thought it would be, right? This would be a wrestling masterpiece. These ladies would give it their all, their blood, sweat, and tears. And Thunder Rosa wins. I liked it. I think the build was left a little to be desired. And so I think we went in just thinking like this is going to be a great match. And it was. And I like that. I don't know who's next for Thunder Rosa. It'd be interesting to see where we go from that. And Serena Deeb, because, man, I love Serena Deeb. This, the what is she calling herself? The professor or whatever, right? Like, I just, yeah, like, Blackpool Combat Club needs a female person, maybe? Maybe we get Serena Deeb? I think that's a good, I think I'm a genius. I think I'm a genius, guys. Ladies, whoever's watching, non-categorized in the above two. I'm a genius. Yeah. All right. Serenity, Blackpool Combat Club. You heard it here first. Once again, shout out to our sponsor, Nobody. Thanks again to Nobody. Anarchy in the arena. Let's go back out to Twitter here. At Katie, the First Lady, says, this match is insane. Hashtag Anarchy in the arena. Hashtag Tweet the Table. And Justin Roberts was right. Shit hit the fan. Love that interview. I love where he's just like, or not interview, but the intro, right? He's just sitting there and he's like, ladies and gentlemen, shit's about to hit the fan. Like, just like, he's like, I apologize in advance. And man, the thing that will stick out to me forever is that I think they accidentally let Moxley's intro music play too long. And then when it stopped, I think the fans were like, hey, and so they just played it again. It was the weirdest thing. We got about like 6 to 7 minutes of Moxley's theme song while they are bloodying each other up around the arena. Just anarchy in the arena is right. The Jericho Appreciation Society coming out looking like a boy band is a great move. This is fine. I think it's good. It is what it was. We expected some blood and guts, if you will, which is where we're headed. And they played that out. And then we move on to Dynamite, where the Jericho Appreciation Society is gloating. He does the AEW Galaxy appreciate us instead of acknowledge us. These guys are killing it. The 2.0 guys in this Jericho Appreciation Society are just, they make me smile every time I see them. And then we get Eddie Kingston out there with Ortiz, and they're like, now we're fighting. They're cutting Jericho's hair. We're going to get a hair versus hair match? Jericho and Ortiz? Who's losing their hair there? Ooh, I think Jericho just got hair plugs, right? Oh, look at that. Look at that. It's an ode to New Jack. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yep. Tom's in here on the chat. He says it's an ode to New Jack. Remember when New Jack would fight people during his music playing? That's right. That's right. Recalling the ECW days. That's right. How can I forget? See, this is why we need you here, Tom, here in the Spanish Announce Table studios instead of on the chat. I mean, the chat is good. Chat's for the fans, Tom. Chat is for the customers, Tom. Tom, good to see Tom. Anthony Carrillo, very good match, despite being tired of Jericho's goons. Yeah, well, I'm definitely tired of Jake Hager, right? Hands up if you're tired of Jake Hager. God. No good. And Daniel Garcia is fine, but he's out of place in this. Which is fine. Like, if he's learning other skills, if he's learning some of those, non-wrestling skills to go with his in-ring repertoire, then good. So maybe it is a good place for him. But the 2.0 guys, I will never be tired of, at least for the foreseeable future. What are their names now? Do they have a tag team name? They need a good AEW Galaxy-esque tag team name. Hit us up, hashtag Tweet the Table, if you have a good name for that. Yeah, Anthony Carrillo's raising his hand there as well, saying he's tired of Jake Hager. Jeez. Once again, shout out to our sponsor, Nobody. You could be like Nobody if you want to sponsor the show. Hit us up, tableshow@gmail.com. We got a couple ways. But yes, so we're going to get a blood and guts match. We're going to get a hair versus hair match. Hair versus hair. So Jericho just got hair plugs, right? So it's going to be Ortiz, maybe? But I don't know. Jericho? Jeez, Jericho bald? Because he is balding, right? So, I don't know. That should be fun. That should be real fun. All right. The Jurassic Express defended the AEW tag team titles against Swerve in Our Glory. So Swerve Strickland and Keith Lee. And Team Taz's Powerhouse Hobbs and Ricky Starks. We have some Twitters about these. Let's go back out to the Twitters. And it's that's one we already did. Amateur Hour over here. Devil Vamp says, how the fuck do you let Swerve go? Dude is fire. Hashtag tweet the table. And yes, Swerve Strickland, it's great. I think Tom said he's the coolest guy in the room last week, and he might be right. He's slick, right? Dude is cool. Seems to be very charismatic. Seems to be good at telling some stories in the ring, on the mic. I'm excited for Swerve Strickland to get all the exposure he can here in AEW. And also Devil Vamp said, I don't know why, but I still don't like Keith Lee. I like Hobbs, but not Keith. Please someone tell me why. Hashtag tweet the table. And I, once again, we covered this earlier, if you're just joining us, am a genius. So I know why. It's because he doesn't do anything. Like, yeah, he does some things. And don't get me wrong, like, he's a big dude. Bigger than, like, even when you see him next to Hobbs, who is a big, big bastard, he's bigger, like doubled up bigger than Hobbs. And he can still, like, flip over the top rope, and he can do all kinds of cool stuff, and he's strong. But, like, that's not telling me anything. That's akin to the strong man in the three-ring circus, right? Like, he's picking something up, and he's throwing it, and then he goes, bask in my glory. And we all go, yay. That's why you don't care about him, because it's formulaic and it's done. You've seen it already. That's why I'm a genius. I figured it out for you, Devil Vamp. Use hashtag tweet the table if you got any more dear habbies right here on the Spanish announce table. But so the Jurassic Express come away winning this. And that one kind of surprised me. I thought we were going to maybe start the breakup, start the little divide, and maybe we're seeing that. I think after the big melee mixed tag match on Dynamite, it looked like Jungle Boy took the L, and Christian tried to save him from getting his help from like Luchasaurus, and even Matt Hardy tried to help, and Christian's like, nah, you get the fuck out of here. He's like, I got you. So maybe, I'm hoping, maybe we're getting that, or maybe I'm just reading too much into that. I want that to happen. I think they're a little stale now. So I'm surprised they're still the AEW World Tag Team Champions, if I'm being honest with you. I don't know. Yeah. All right. So that led us into the main event. Hangman Adam Page, the savior of our souls, anxious millennial cowboy, defending AEW from CM Punk in an AEW World Heavyweight Championship match. Anthony Creo says, Jungle Boy needs a new gimmick, parentheses, outfit. Yeah. You ever notice when Jungle Boy comes out, he's got the title on it, looks like he's wearing nothing, like but his boots with the fur, right? He's just got his belt on, looking like he just hopped out the shower and couldn't find his robe. All right. Anyway, Hangman Adam Page lost as hard as he could try. Well, maybe. To CM Punk, your new reigning AEW World Heavyweight Champion. And I called this, I think Tom was in denial last week when we were doing our predictions. And CM Punk is your winner and new champion. And he's going to face Tanahashi, right, at Forbidden Door. Yay. I'm assuming, if I'm a betting man, in the CM Punk finally returns to wrestling agreement, there was a world title run worked in there somewhere. I don't know. Just taking a guess. I could be wrong. Or Tony Khan thought, this is going to be so great, everybody's going to love it, he's going to come back and I'm going to make him the champion and it's going to work. And this is that. And, maybe he's not entirely wrong. People seem to love CM Punk. And, he's a big name. And so, I'm not discounting that maybe the Hangman thing could have ended there. Like, it's a fine time. I am a little upset about the whole claim of it not being a Bret Hart masturbatory performance, like a cover band. And then, and then they did the whole, like, the whole Bret Hart, who did that to him, where he, like, didn't hit him with the damn... yeah, I'm not excited for this. I'd like to see what we do with Hangman. I'd like to see him get back into his, woe is me, I'm not good enough. I think there's some great storytelling there, as long as we don't just try to run it back completely. Because you can go a lot of ways with it. Hangman can get We can make him a heel out of some of it. We can make him even a sympathetic good guy who doesn't believe in himself again. Anthony Creo says he's upset after he won despite 2 botched Punk shot lariats. Yeah. Yeah, and Tom says Punk is a botch fest in the ring. Piper? Oh, yeah, it was Piper. That's right. Yes, it was Piper. It was Piper who wouldn't hit him. See? It just... Yeah, it was Piper versus Hart at WrestleMania. And it's just, that's the thing. It's like, you still did the thing you said you weren't going to do. Like, Hangman, poor form. Poor form, Hangman. I still love you. Still toast to you, especially with our, our gift from our sponsor, Nobody. Still love you, Hangman, but kind of let us down, Hangman. You don't feel bad about yourself. Maybe you should think about it. Listen, I'm an enabler in his anxiety. We love you, Hangman. But yeah, Punk is the champion. I don't know. Are you excited? Hashtag tweet the table. Let me know. I bet Katie the First Lady might be excited. If I had to guess, I don't know if she's watching. She'll be listening at some point, I assume. Faithful listener for years. But I do know we have some tweets. At Katie First Lady, she said, this is surreal CM Punk main eventing a wrestling pay-per-view again, hashtag tweet the table. And that was kind of surreal. Not gonna lie. Like if you removed yourself from that moment and hadn't been following along over the last year or so, and you just kind of were flipping through and saw a wrestling fan or something watching, you'd be like, oh, hold on, is it CM Punk? I thought he was gone, right? Like, it was a bit of a moment, right? That's not lost on me. But there is the aspect that Tom was touching on Twitter when he says, I'm excited for Punk to turn heel in AEW so I can relive Bret Hart matches when he was in the NWO. Hashtag tweet the table. Isn't he already a heel, Tom? Tom asked here, he said, do you think he turns heel as a champ in the chat on the YouTube chat? By the way, join us on the YouTube chat as we're doing these live. Anthony Creo says, I'm only excited if it leads to MJF beating him eventually. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he is turning heel already. I don't know. So we've got a stall here with the Forbidden Door thing, unless we get something happening there to further a storyline there. But this is kind of one of those throwaway pay-per-views that the WWE does in Saudi Arabia, right? Look, kind of like MJF, like, I'm not pretending to watch New Japan, right? So I don't know about you chumps. No, I'm just kidding. You're not chumps. It's just not my thing. I'm not watching it all the time. So I'm not really concerned about this Forbidden Door outside of the aspect of, like, they may debut some folks there, or there may be some one-offs of past and present stars of other places. So that could be cool. But after that, what are we doing with Punk, right? Is he what Hangman said needs to be saved from? A la MJF could try to save him, but it's too soon, right? Where is it? We're seeing Punk only the champion for a month or two. How long? What are your bets? How long? CM Punk, the AEW World Heavyweight Champion. And then Dynamite. To wrap up, one thing happened on Dynamite. Danielson versus Punk after Forbidden Door is what Tom is betting on. Yeah. Yep. They're going to, yes. They'll do the handshake like stupid. God. Oh, and they'll probably do something Bret Hartish, won't they? Yeah. Oh, they'll do something as an homage to Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels. Are they going to do an Iron Man match? But should they do an Iron Man match that has to go into overtime? Called it, because I'm a genius. I'm a genius. This is the third time we've discovered it in this show. I'm such a genius that I keep discovering it myself. 3 times in the show, that's what happens. They do an Iron Man match, Danielson versus Punk, goes to overtime. All right. But Dynamite. One other thing happened on Dynamite that really stuck out to me that I really want to discuss before we move into these WWE Hell in a Cell picks that are going to be exciting because I haven't watched like half of, I think, an hour of WWE in the last couple of weeks. But we saw the return of the Redeemer, Miro. And I'm still smiling about it. And he's still ready to fight God. He's ready to take God's throne, if you will. And he's lucky that he gets to redeem all these souls en route to finding God. This is, I was so sad when this went away, and I'm so happy it's back, and Miro's going to murder some people. And it's going to be so fun. It's going to be almost as fun as when we get those sponsorship checks from our great sponsor, Nobody. Here's to Nobody. Thanks, Nobody. Yeah, Anthony Carrillo brought up that Punk is too old for the Iron Man match, and Tom said they'll recreate the screw job. They're going to do some stupid stuff like maybe Bryan Danielson stops them. Maybe he says, no, we're not going to fucking do that. No violence. The character right now is violence, and I'm going to violently beat the shit out of somebody. Yeah, Anthony Carrillo says, I think Miro lost his steam, and I think he did, but I think this storyline is unique enough. I think you'll quickly forget when Miro is cutting those great promos, right? When he's talking about his flexible wife and, you know, how he's going to eat God, basically, when he finds him. He's basically telling God it's on sight, and that's amazing. And I want more of it. I'm ready. I want him on Rampage. I want him on Dynamite, and I want him over and over and over. It's going to be great. All right. What's not going to be great is WWE Hell in a Cell. Did I do that right? I did that right? Did that right? All right. Let me get the card up. Know what I'm doing here. All right, so let's go through it. We've got I'm right here on WWE.com, so forgive me. This is Thursday night, 2nd, so if something happens on SmackDown en route to change this card up, I didn't know about it. But I'm going to make some predictions because I am a genius. I think nobody's disputing that. I won't even look in the chat. You guys can say I'm not. But I'm not. I don't care. So jealousy doesn't look good on you. United States Championship on the line. Theory, not Austin Theory. Theory versus Mustafa Ali. Both of those names, Mustafa and Ali. Theory versus Mustafa Ali. Yeah, Theory's winning this. Right? Theory seems to be the chosen, the new protege. Yeah. I mean, I could see him maybe stumbling and maybe Mustafa, but nah, I'm going to say Theory. Theory wins this. But I also don't, why? Do you care? I don't know how to describe what WWE is anymore. AEW feels like a pro wrestling show, right? Feels like there's pro wrestling matches going on. We get the arena stuff. We get the promos. WWE feels like it's literally, I know we've likened it to Cirque du Soleil before, but it feels more like that ever more than it did before. Where it feels like I'm watching a formulaic circus thing. You know what I mean? And it's just, this is what that feels like. Great. We're getting Theory versus Mustafa Ali because, you know, that's how the cards shuffled this time, and this is what we get. Yeah. Anthony Carrillo says, when did Ali return? I don't watch WWE. I don't know when he returned. A couple weeks ago, I think. At least enough to set up a match. I don't know. I thought he was done with them too. I mean, he pulled a Cody Rhodes like faster than Cody Rhodes did. Tom thinks Theory's winning. I think Tom's right. Finn Balor, AJ Styles, and Liv Morgan versus the Judgment Day. Judgment Day wins. Judgment Day wins, and Tommaso Ciampa shows up and joins the Judgment Day because fuck it, why not? I don't know what else to say. I also don't get, like, why? What this Judgment Day thing? The House of Purple. Nah, I'm not buying it. We didn't get a good enough transformation of Edge going to the dark side. to fit it. Like, the characters seem to be in the right place, but we didn't get there at the right way, right time, maybe? I don't know. Something just feels like it's missing each time. And it just feels like, I don't know, it feels like a high school play. You know? Yeah, Tom's the Judgment Day and they get a new member, right? That's what I said. I think Tommaso Ciampa. Because he's still alive? Ezekiel versus Kevin Owens. I mean, yes, they've done a story here. This one's been playing out. Kevin Owens is like, you're an idiot. What the fuck? Everybody knows what the fuck you're doing. And you guys know what the fuck he's doing. You're just playing in just to piss me off. And yeah, it's great. I think it's maybe Kevin Owens wins. I want to say Ezekiel wins because they love to like just honk honk. Kevin Owens got a fucking traffic cone up his ass, and Ezekiel still wins even though everybody knows it's fucking Elias shaved. Jesus, looking like he's cosplaying the Ultimate Warrior. I don't know. Tom says Elias wins. Do you think Ezekiel wins or does Elias win? Huh? Can he grow that beard back in a couple days? He should come out with a fake beard, and then be like, "I'm Elias," and then have a fake beard and be like, "I'm Elias," and then Kevin Owens flips his shit and he's like, "You're not fucking Elias. Like you are Elias, but you're Ezekiel." And it's a fake beard, so you're saying you're Elias again, even though you were Ezekiel without the beard. And he's like trying to pull the fake beard, which is just like on a string, right? Like make it obvious and like have him lose his fucking shit. And he sings a song with the fake beard. And then we get the fight and he, Elias wins and fucking puts the fake beard on Kevin Owens and holds him up, whatever. And then the next day, Ezekiel's back and he's like, yeah, Elias had to hop a plane. He's out. Nailed it. Fucking genius. A little bit of help from Tom. Fucking genius. All right. Elias playing guitar in the ring. This is Anthony Carrillo in the chat. Says, Elias playing guitar in the ring was such a great gimmick. WWE really knows how to screw stuff up. Fucking hey. Man, they know how to screw stuff up. Just that exact thing, right? They just don't know what to do. They really don't. Like, they can't get out of their own way sometimes. Everybody loved that. It wasn't dead yet. Like, it needed maybe some sprinkling in of things. It needed to lead to something instead of just being the shtick every time. But we liked the shtick. We just needed it to tie to something, to give us a story. And that's all that was missing from that. Not that it needed a whole overhaul into this Ezekiel thing. I don't know. It's whatever. WWE, what are you going to do? That's what's going to happen. He's going to come out as Elias with a fake beard. He's going to fucking sing the song. Kevin Owens is going to flip out, be like, no, you're not fucking Elias. You're Ezekiel. He'll be like, I thought you said we were the same guy. So now you're saying we're not the same guy. And then he's like, no, fuck you. You know what I mean? And then they fight. Oh. Bobby Lashley versus almost an MVP in a handicap match. And Bobby Lashley wins this. I don't even know why we're doing this either. Unless MVP's there to just screw over almost. Yeah. It should be him and Boog in a guitar battle, Thomas says. Hey. Yeah. The Bobby Lashley thing. Bobby Lashley wins. It looks like the Almighty. Man, again, almost. They sure know how to get in the way of things. This guy can't be featured too much right now because he's still he still needs some work. But what they're doing ain't right. He's looking a little ridiculous right now. I don't know. Yeah. All right. Raw Women's Championship match. Bianca Belair, Asuka, Becky Lynch, triple threat match. Bianca Belair wins. I don't know. I don't see them giving it to either one. I don't know. I think anybody can win. That's the whole point of these WWE things, and that's why it sucks. Anybody can win. Anybody could win, and nobody should. Right? Anybody can win, and nobody should. Like fucking, God, not good. Tom says almost wins the handicap match. Almost an MVP. Great. But what about that women's title, huh? I know you're dying to see that, Tom. I know you're dying to see that. I know you're dying to see Bianca Belair win, because she's going to stand there and she's going to be like, fucking waving the belt over and be like, I'm that bad bitch, right? Whatever. And, the EST. And then we get to Cody Rhodes versus Seth freaking Rollins. And I'm going to give Seth Rollins the credit, right? The line about, you can't sledgehammer to the throne and then come back, try to take that throne from me. Yeah, sure. Whatever. Like, that was good. That was fine. But there's not much back from Cody because, there isn't much substance to Cody. So I want Seth Rollins to win, and Cody is going to win. I think WWE is making the play to Cody that is the right play to make, in that they want to give the message to anybody in AEW now that, like, hey, if you come over here, you're not getting buried. You could be main event player. Right? Like, because I think we understood at first AEW was number 2. And so it was one of those, like, yeah, you might go or make some money at WWE, but, like, you're going to be chasing the 24/7 title round, being IC champion. Well, it might not be the case now. At least WWE's saying, like, look what we did with Cody Rhodes. Look what we're going to do with MJF when he comes over. And so it may not be a bad play. Cody Rhodes wins. I mean, he's got some fame, some notoriety on the mainstream a little bit now. He's the prodigal son. Seth Rollins does these kind of jobs well. Cody Rhodes wins, right? In the Hell in a Cell. Makes Cody Rhodes look like $1 million. He bleeds a little bit. Easy money. Tom said that's the title of the episode, and I don't know what he's referring to. You're going to have to hit me back up there, Tom, in the chat, and we encourage all of you to join the chat as well. Spanish Announce Table live streams here on the YouTube. Tom says Cody wins and he spells MJF in the air post-match. See, that's something the CM Punk would do, right? In his match. I don't know. WWE Hell in a Cell. Like, I think Cody Rhodes will win, and I think that's fine, right? Cody Rhodes is a main event level player. Wherever he's going to go, he's going to be in the main event, and that's fine. And they're going to push him down because he's the new shining toy. And Seth Rollins, this character, is well built to take losses because he's delusional and he's full of himself and doesn't get reality a little bit. And so if he loses, he can still go around and be like, I deserve this title shot. And people will be like, no, you don't. And they'll be like, kick you in the nuts. And they're like, all right, now we're going to fight. Right. So it doesn't really hurt him too much. Right. Exactly how it goes. Exactly how it's going to play out. Well, I guess I'll wrap it up. I mean, this is a little early. I know, like, so we're only about 50-some minutes in, and, sorry, could have been a little bit longer. But I don't have Tom here to bounce off of back and forth. Normally, I would have a friend. But we need you. We need you guys as friends. Like Anthony Carrillo joined us and was our friend here in the show. We appreciate Anthony for that, being our friend. And we need more friends. We need more friends, and we need more sponsors. Like nobody who sponsored this show this week. Nobody. But Hell in a Cell doesn't have to bring you down. All you got to think about, that fucking promo. That MJF promo. How great. I want to end talking a little bit more about that. How great was it? Tell me, is it top 5 for you? Top 10? So good. So heartfelt that, again, like I said, even if it's work, he felt everything he said there, right? He's wanted to say that, meant to say that. And it's just, it was so fun. Oh, Tom said, anyone can win and no one should, that could be the episode title. MJF deserves to win. MJF deserves all the money he's asking for. Look, I don't know about contract negotiations. Put all that aside. I'm no lawyer like Smart Mark Sterling. But MJF is probably my favorite in the game right now. I mean, he's so good. Best promo since the Attitude Era, says Anthony Carrillo. And, man, I can't think of what else I appreciated more. Like, I don't know. I remember watching. So here's moments in wrestling that I remember all time. Devil Vamp says they took his merch down and removed him from the roster. Yeah, that happened quick. So I don't know. You know what I mean? I feel like that could be playing into a work as well. You know, it's not, I don't want to say it's easy to do, to go online and turn those kind of things off, but it's not super difficult to do for an organization like that, if you know what I mean. So, but MJF, all right. So here's the things I remember as like all-time moments that I'll remember from my life, right? I remember watching Hogan slam Andre. See, that's how old I am, right? I'm 23 years old. He says, hot take, the better wrestling promo was from Miro, not MJF that night. Miro's promo was fucking amazing. God, it was so amazing. So amazing. And Devil says, but a great work. Yeah, if I want all this to be a work, A, so I can keep watching MJF and AEW, and 2, so that, you know what I mean, this doesn't end. I like this. All right, so the moments. Hogan. I remember the Iron Man match, right? I remember Bash at the Beach, right? I remember the Hogan turning. I remember the Undertaker losing, the streak ending, right? These kind of moments where you're like, oh, I was there watching it as it happened. This is going to be one of those. I was even a little behind, but all I got was a heads up of like, holy shit, did you see the promo, right? A couple minutes behind. But just so being kind of in the fervor of it happening, just, man, it might be. I mean, I remember watching the pipe bomb. I remember watching that. This is a top 5 moment for me. I don't want to let recency bias creep in, but it could be a top 5 to 10 moment for me of all time in wrestling, of like that moment, like watching when something happened that maybe wasn't supposed to, or at least made you think that. And, I can't, it was so great that's what I want to end on, is remembering that MJF promo and just how fucking livid he was. And I hope that's not the last we see of MJF. And I hope it's not the last we see of you in the YouTube chats, to the Devil Vamps, Anthony Carrillo's, the Tom. I hope it's not the last we see of you either. If you're good enough this week, I'll let you back on the show next week. You know what I mean? We'll talk about it. We'll have a discussion. You know, we'll have HR in the room and we'll talk about it. Mankind off the cell. Yep. I remember that. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's somewhere, anywhere in the 4 to maybe 8 range, maybe, this MJF promo. And of course, over time, we'll see, right? Like, we gotta let it sink in over time to see how impactful maybe it was, right? But goddamn, one of the most heartfelt speeches of emotion that I've ever seen from anybody in decades, if not all my entire life. So on that, we'll leave it with, as Tom said in the chat, see you next week, pal.
The Spanish announce table.